Good morning, student. Today in theme 9, we will discuss about the next topic, the making of manuscript. This is part 3rd of our chapter, the making of manuscript. All books in the Mughal India were the manuscripts. Manuscripts mean the handwritten books. Here you see in your right hand side, this is the page or the picture of a manuscript. They were the handwritten books. The center of manuscript production was the Imperial Kitab Khana, like as the library. Kitab Khana means library, where the production of the manuscript. Imperial means the area of the king. Okay. Although Kitab Khana can be translated as a library, it was spectrum, that is a place where the emperor's collection of manuscript was kept. It means all the books that was related to the emperors only, that was kept there, and the new manuscript were produced. That area in the court that was known as the Kitab Khana, where the books were produced. The creation of the manuscript involved a number of the people performing a variety or the different type of the task or work. First of all, the paper makers were needed to prepare the foils or the pages of the manuscript. Papers makers, they were prepare the pages of this manuscript. Then scribes or writer, okay, or calligraphers to copy the text. The writers, they were wrote the content. Calligraphers, they were copy that text in a very beautiful writing. Then glitters to illuminated the pages. They were also made the or beautify the pages. Painters to illustrate the scenes from the text according to the content. The painters, they were made the paintings. Then book binders to gather the individual foils, all the different pages. The book binders, they were bind all these pages and set them with an ornamental cover. Their cover was very beautiful. Okay, so in this way, they were made the manuscripts in the Kitab Khana. So many people, they were did a hard work for made a one manuscript on that time. The finished manuscript was seen as a precious object, a work of intellectual wealth and beauty. It exemplified the power of its patron, the Mughal emperor, and to bring such beauty into being. Okay, so that manuscript also showed the power of the Mughal emperors on that time. At the same time, some of the people involved in the actual production of the manuscript also got the recognition in the form of the titles and the awards. Those who did a good work in these manuscripts, that people, they were also awarded and they were also got the titles of these. Calligraphers and painters held a high social standing, while others, such as the paper makers and bookbinders, have remained anonymous artisans. But on that time, the calligraphers and the painters, they had very high standard on that time. Calligraphy, the art of handwriting, was considered a skill of great importance. It was practiced using different styles, and Akbar also chose the calligraphers on that time. chronicles narrating the events of the Mughal emperor's regions. Now I am telling you about the painted images, how they were made the paintings in the chronicles. Chronicles narrating the events of the Mughal emperor's reign contained, alongside the written text, images that described an event in visual form. When scene or themes in a book were to be given visual expression, the scribe left blank space on the nearby pages. When the writer they were wrote about the suppose scene of a war or any other thing, okay, and then the writer made a left blank space for the painters. Okay, the painting executed separately by the artist were inserted to accompany what was described in words. Firstly, the painters they were read that content content on that manuscript, and according to that content the painters they were made the paintings, and they were made that painting separately on another pages, and after that they were also made the small according to that blank space they were made the paintings and then pasted on that blank space on that page. So paintings serve not only to enhance the beauty of a book, but were believed to possess special powers of communicating ideas about the kingdom and the power of the kings in ways that the written medium could not. Sometimes that paintings also shows each and everything about the king, their power, their the scenes, the beautiful scenes, everything. Okay, so that the paintings were very important part of that chronicles on that time. The historian Abu Fazl described painting as a magical art, and in his view it had a power to make inanimate objects look as if they possess the life. It means that with the help of the paintings we will show each and everything which we can't describe in the word, but that painting describe each and everything about that content very in a very beautiful way. So Abul Fazl always gave a lot of importance to these paintings, and that one called it magical art. Here you see this is the picture of the uh, manuscript. These are the paintings. See one more. This is the wedding scene of the ruler. Okay, the painted image. The production of painting portraying the emperor and his court and the people was a source of constant tension between the rulers and the representatives of the Muslim Orthodox ulemas. On that time, the ulemas or the Orthodox Muslim they were not in the favor of the paintings in the chronicles because they believed that the depiction of living beings in a naturalistic manner is forbidden, as it would be suggest that the artist was seeking to appropriate the power of creation. This was a function that was believed to belong exclusively to the god. So on that time, the ulemas they were not in the favor of making the pictures of the emperors, because in the Muslim religion they were not worshipped any picture or any idols. They were not in the favor of this idolism or in the pictures that were against the Sharia. So, yet interpretation of the Sharia changed with this time. The Muslim rulers in many Asian regions during the centuries of the empire building regularly commission artists to paint their portraits and scenes of life in their kingdoms. Maybe that was against the Sharias, or but the Muslim rulers on that time, they were made their portraits, okay. And in the many of the time we see in the chronicles, they were also painted their portraits or the different pictures. The Safavid kings of the Iran, for example, patronized the finest artists who were trained in workshops set up at the court. So these Muslim rulers, example I'm giving you about this Safavid kings of the Iran, they were also gave the lot of patronage to the finest artist, okay, and trained that artist in for their in the workshop or in their court also. So they were not believe in the Orthodox Muslims or the ulemas. Here you see in this picture the Mughal painting. Okay, student, next topic Akbar Nama and Basha Nama we will discuss in our next video. Thank you.